for every celebration at a new UNESCO listing, there'll be recriminations from some quarters in disappointed cities. Liverpool in the UK has lost its UNESCO World Heritage status following building developments on its historic waterfront. But many have been critical of UNESCO's rather opaque decision-making processes, often held in private. I've been talking to Professor Michael Parkinson at Liverpool University. I asked him if anyone there really cares.
You don't want to be thrown out of a club unfairly, so people are pretty angry about that. But the public reaction is, we're better off without them. It's a relief, very high transaction costs. We get no value out of it anyway. We'll be better off without it.
Liverpool's offence, as I understand it, seems to be allowing the construction of a rather striking football stadium on what is derelict land. I mean, I can't see that anyone from UNESCO has visited Liverpool for years to make a site inspection. The meeting to delist Liverpool was done in secret, as I understand it. So we don't know the rationale behind this rather opaque decision-making process. Is it simply time that UNESCO was reformed?
I think they're pretty rigid. I think they're kind of heritage Taliban. I think they're not transparent. And I think they made the wrong decision in this case. It was blindingly obvious there should be a new football stadium on that site. To call it cultural vandalism, as they did, is to entirely misunderstand the nature of the city and football. I think it shows they're pretty out of touch, and I don't think they should be listing cities anyway.
Why? What do you mean?
We're not the Taj Mahal, we're not the Great Wall of China, we're not the Barrier Reef. It is unrealistic to apply the criteria you'd apply to the Barrier Reef or the Taj Mahal to a living, breathing city which must provide opportunities and jobs and work for its people. So it lacks common sense, quite frankly.
UNESCO has been less active in intervening in Venice, for example, and stopping the damage done by seemingly ever bigger cruise ships. UNESCO decides not to list Venice, which seems insane.
I couldn't agree more. The Secretariat, the officials, wanted to put the Great Barrier Reef at risk this week, and also Venice. The Minister of the Environment in Australia jumped on a plane, did a global charm offensive, and Australia was taken off the at-risk register. There's a great deal of politics that go on behind all of this. So frankly, their processes are not transparent. In the debate about Liverpool, 8 countries said, don't chuck him off. That would have meant we weren't chucked off. When it came to secret ballot, only 5 voted for us. 2 were called invalid. 1 was person didn't show up. It's a shambles to take those really significant reputational decisions we've argued about for 10 years, to take it in 1 hour in Paris and then say some of the papers, voting papers are wrong or something didn't show up. That's an absurd way of handling crucial business.
Does anyone actually visit a city because it's UNESCO listed? I'm assuming people visit Liverpool because they love it. That's the story of the Beatles and football.
Look, you've got it in one. There are 1,100 World Heritage sites. There's one Liverpool. It's globally attractive. Football, Beatles, music, culture, the river, the architecture, the people. They come for that. Most tourists don't even know we're on the list, frankly, and most tourists probably won't recognise we've taken off the list. So will we lose investment because we've lost the plaque? No. Will we lose tourists because they've lost the plaque? Absolutely not. We will get tourists if we make them a good offer. And a great football stadium on a classic waterfront will attract more people, quite frankly. So there's no economic risk for this in Liverpool.